Part 5.
Pleasant good day to all my followers, viewers, listeners, to all who will be hearing this, whatever part of the world you are located. Once again, it's my pleasure to greet you in the name of positive knowledge and education and to bring our weekly messages to you. And I dare say I know you have been tuning into the channel. I would like to thank you for your support. I would like to encourage you to encourage friends and family to subscribe and be part of this journey that we have engaged ourselves in. So as usual, our discussion will be structured in 4 parts: a motivational word, the services we offer, the presentation, and a reminder of the services that we offer. So the topic today is that your mental health should be top priority, and I will take the motivational word in the context of the topic that we will be discussing today, so that we know that when we are ill, and when we talk about illness, most of the times we talk about it in the physical sense. We will take a checkup. So I say to you today that your checkup is incomplete without a mental health checkup. So to really have a complete checkup, ensure that your mental health is part of that evaluation. So the brain controls the body, and if the brain controls the body and you are taking a check and that is not being considered, your check is incomplete. So as people who really love yourself and who want the best for yourself, have a complete checkup, and remember there is no shame in checking on your mental health status, because to be whole persons, we must be not only physically healthy but also in a sound mental state. So I encourage you to do the simple things, the bigger things, whatever it takes to keep yourself in a positive mental state. Having said that, once again, we'd like to remind you of our services that we offer. We offer workshops in a range of areas such as leadership, communication skills, conflict resolution, anger management, entrepreneurship, emotional intelligence, community development, cooperative development, marketing, management, public speaking, and a host of other areas. I'm also a life coach and consultant, and in terms of helping you to fulfill your potential, in terms of helping you to improve, in terms of your rate of progress towards your goals, I am here to offer that one-on-one interchange with you and exchange. And I encourage you all to call 1-868-778-5141, 1-868-779-2544, or email me at leadershipwithadifference@gmail.com. So we are available, we are willing to support you, work with you. All you have to do is book your appointment. Once again, call the numbers 1-868-778-5141, 1-868-779-2544, or email us at leadershipwithadifference@gmail.com. So as I said at the beginning, the topic for today is that your mental health should be top priority. Now in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, mental health over the years has had a very low value on the totem pole. Over the last 25-30 years, we have had an acceleration in terms of people graduating in the field of psychology. So whereas at one time there was a shortage of psychologists in Trinidad and Tobago, that is no longer the case, and that is welcome and encouraged, because the mental health issues that we have, I guess that they still surpass the number of personnel available, but there has been a great acceleration. But more significantly, people tend to stigmatize people who are mentally ill, who are challenged in the mental realm, and normally, we tend to, not view them as a fellow, human being who is deserving of all the considerations that we who may consider ourselves to be in good mental health are deserving of. So I'm saying that, that stigmatization and that lack of support afforded to persons who, unfortunately, for one reason or the other, may be mentally ill or challenged mentally, is not in the best interest of restoring them into a healthy state mentally. So we need to be more supportive, we need to be less sarcastic or labeling them as such in terms of a common term in Trinidad and the Caribbean, when people may have been institutionalized and they may have a flare-up, people tend to say, well, they have their mad papers, That kind of language, that kind of labeling certainly doesn't help the cause. So in the motivational world, I mentioned that one's brain is what controls the body. A lot of our bodily functions, there is a direct link, whether it's respiration, whether it's digestion, maintenance of temperature, the ability to feel, etc. All are linked with a mental connection. So that being the case, we must give top priority to our mental health status. When we think of mental health, we could think of it along a continuum of normal, neurotic, and psychotic. And any one of us who may consider ourselves normal, some of us may have neurotic tendencies in terms of excessive phobias or being overwhelmed in some area. Not that we will be out of our minds. The greatest challenge is those people who sometimes slip along the continuum in terms of being psychotic, where they are totally out of touch with reality, whether it's drug-induced, whether it's genetically predetermined, or the issues of life have pushed them into a position where they have become that ill. But we must not look down on such persons, because we never know where we can end up, because people may be mentally healthy today, and then the impact of life's issues and challenges could push you along that continuum, and you could end up lower down, and have to be probably hospitalized or treated in a focused way. So let us kind of define, when we talk about mental health, mental health certainly will cover one's ability to be engaged in wholesome and productive activities, having an ambition to achieve harmonious relationships, respectful of others, and that kind of context certainly going to suggest that a person can be considered to be mentally healthy. When we look at the definition of health itself, of the WHO, it states that health is not just the mere absence of disease, but a total sense of physical, mental, social, and emotional well-being. So the WHO's definition certainly encapsulates not only physical health, but the need for being mentally healthy. That is why in the motivational world, I said that if you are not doing an evaluation of your mental health, whether it's personally, whether it's through the help of a professional such as a psychologist or psychiatrist, you certainly will be doing yourself a disfavor in terms of not really ensuring that you're in the best possible condition on all realms. So that definition of the WHO, I think, really encapsulates both the need, what physical health should entail, and what mental health should entail. So, many persons are challenged in life, and sometimes support might be a key factor in helping them overcome the challenges. So one of the things about mental health in terms of taking a step towards restoration is being aware of signs that could be trending in direction probably of developing mental illnesses. So, you have persons who may be, probably overwhelmed with excessive worries and fears. They may be, depressed, overly sad and helpless, hopeless, at least for a period of 2 weeks or more. They may be developing suicidal ideation. They may be, neglecting themselves in terms of the kind of self-care that they need to pay attention to physically, etc. They may, have great difficulty in maintaining focus, in relating well with others. And these signs are things that we all should be, or they may, for example, be probably isolated themselves, moving away from friends, not taking care of themselves. These things doesn't necessarily mean that the person is mentally ill, or they may be warning signs that need attention, need to be paid to. So I'm saying, if we just have that sense of awareness, we too could probably reach out to others not in a judgmental way, but in a manner of concern, to check in with them, to evaluate how they are balancing themselves. All right? And if it is that they feel really overwhelmed with whatever challenge that they are experiencing, certainly it will go beyond that in terms of probably looking for professional help. Now, in terms of positive signs of mental health, people who are able to relate well, people who are able to take care of themselves in a productive way, people who are able to engage in productive activities, wholesome activities, people who has a sense of mission in terms of fulfilling their potential, helping others fulfill their potential. All of these will be positive signs that a person is managing well in the mental realm. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a continuum, and any one of us could slide along that continuum. But if we could reach a point where more people become aware of that they may have a problem. For example, if we try to define mental illness, it's a health condition as any other health condition, such as diabetes or hypertension, where a person has problems in terms of their emotions, their thinking, and their behavior. It may be triggered genetically, it may be triggered through substance abuse, it may be triggered by probably poor nutrition, it may be triggered by any form of abuse, physical, sexual, or emotional. It may be triggered by excessive stress. So all of these things could cause mental illnesses to develop or impair mental health in a way where people will require help and assistance. Now, if people become more sensitive and aware, if the individual who may be challenged is aware themselves, and you could have less stigma driving the discussion. Thanks to COVID-19, mental health has really spiraled in sharp focus, where therapists all over the world have increased clientele. And not because of COVID. They'll be glad for the increased clientele, but because of the many challenges that people are having. Hence the reason that they are reaching out more and more, and the discussion has become more open in terms of discussing mental health. So I'm saying that if a person becomes aware of such challenges, and they could reach out at least after awareness in talking to a friend. Talking to a friend might be a very good first step, or if the friend is conscious enough, the friend may observe them and recognize that they need some level of support, and as I said earlier, in a concerned, empathetic manner, find out what is happening to them and provide that level of support. If it is that the problem is overwhelming, of course, they will need to seek professional help through a psychologist, clinical counseling, or a psychiatrist who will treat them medicinally in terms of addressing their mental health concerns. So help is available, right, professionally, but we need to have strong networks to support each other, because strong social networks is a very good buffer both in enhancing physical health and mental health. So a person with a strong network certainly could try to tap into that network for support. As I've said over and over, if the problem is more than what the network can provide, but the next best step is to seek professional help. So it is a blessing in disguise that COVID-19 has opened up the discussion in a way that perhaps would not have taken place in terms of the openness now when people are already discussing their mental health. For example, just like yesterday I read where the president of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus, Student Gill, he said that a major focus would be enhancing the mental health of the students and ensuring that all of the necessary services are available to support students. As we all know, students across the spectrum, from primary right up to tertiary, have been severely affected with the COVID-19 pandemic, and the impact going forward is left to our imagination. It can be very, very severe. It is already severe, and all students, certainly all schools, and I know at least in the Caribbean context, the level of services are not what they're supposed to be, but they will have to make a concerted effort in terms of providing badly needed support. It was always needed, and now it is overwhelmingly needed to help students navigate now and going forward. So we need to have less labeling taking place. We need to have less stigmatization. We need to have more services available across communities. I know in some of the health centers in Trinidad and Tobago, there are days for people to seek psychological support. Many citizens probably are not even aware of that. We need more centers, of course, more than just health centers providing a service on a particular day. Locally, the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Psychologists, through their website, you can access a number of providers and avenues to find help. The Ministry of Health locally, I know they have a dedicated mental health site, which is all in favor of the population reaching out and seeking that help. So let us become our brothers keepers, as we should always have been, and really support each other, more so now than any other time in our existence, because there is no help without mental health. As I said in the motivational word, if you are evaluating your mental health, if you are evaluating your health without evaluating your mental health, well then you are doing yourself a severe disservice. So, as usual, this topic is relevant, it is pertinent, it must be continued. I'm certain I will do another presentation on this area of mental health. I will be very happy to have you commenting on this presentation in the comments column, and your thoughts are welcome. But in the meantime, let us form networks, let us have access to professional networks, let us talk more, let us laugh more, even though we cannot meet physically, because laughter is really a medicine, not only for the body, but for the mind. Sport and recreation also are very important things that we can do to help manage life in our day-to-day concerns. Because striking that balance is critical. So proper nutrition, balanced meals, etc., meditation, exercise, talking to a friend, taking medication if you're already diagnosed with a mental illness, seeking help if it is required. Putting all of these things in a package and a proper framework is vital for the mental health of each and every one of us. Because a smile is not always a smile. Sometimes people are hurting, crying, and they are masking it with a smile. So we cannot just judge and say that a person is in good mental health, because they are smiling a lot. Sometimes that is, that's a mask being worn. So we just have to be very observant, very sensitive, very encouraging. We need to change our language in terms of how we communicate, all right? And really take this, heighten the profile of mental health, which has been helped, as I said, by the COVID-19 pandemic. Let us continue talking, let us continue supporting each other and protecting our minds and bodies as we help to navigate these challenging times which we are all living through. So I know this message certainly has resonated in a very powerful way with you, and I would like you as usual to support the channel, to subscribe, like the video, share the video, comment on this one, comment on the other videos. Feel free and reach out to us to get services at a personalized level. So once again, remind you to contact us at 1-868-778-5141, 1-868-779-2544, or you can email us at leadershipwithadifference@gmail.com. So remember, there is no health without mental health. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, and let us keep these discussions we are having going. Invite your networks to support it, and I certainly look forward to your continued support and for you being missionaries in support of this channel. So thanks again, stay tuned, and expect another presentation next week Tuesday, and as we continue the good work that this channel is providing. Thank you very much, and bye.